Lego Star Wars Big MOCs. Everyone's heard of them, all the way from Solid Brick Studios' massive Geonosis battle, all the way to Coconut Brick Studios' current Lego Star Wars MOC. Large Lego Star Wars MOCs have been a staple of the Lego Star Wars community for a very long time, and they've continued to grow in popularity, so that's why I want to create my own. Now, the last time I created one was about a year ago, when I posted this video showing off my clone base that I created. But this time I want to go something different. My idea is the invasion of Kaller. Now, if you've never seen the show The Bad Batch, then you probably wouldn't know what this planet is. It's pretty much a massive snow and mountain planet that was seen in the very beginning when Order 66 was that happened. It depicts a battle in the mountains, but that's not my plan for this MOC. For this MOC, I want to go all out and create a massive droid fortress in the mountains. But before I can start this MOC, I need to get a full plan. Now, to start, I want this to be my largest LEGO Star Wars MOC yet. So, I'm going to start out with figuring out where I want everything to go. To start with the clone side, I want to have a large mountain, and that will be connected to a large forest. I'm planning to have the droid base inside the mountain, so what we'll have is we'll have that section of the mountain be fully taken over by the clone army. From there, I'm going to have a massive clone camp that will kind of show like how long they've been at that battle. Next, I want to start working on figuring out the droid portion of the MOC. For the droid side, I want to design a cool looking base that looks like it's been engraved into the mountain. So to start, what I want to do is I want to design a landing platform in the middle, and that will be connected to the mountain that will lead to the base. Inside the mountain, I'm going to have a massive base with probably a hangar and a bunch of different supplies. And because this is a fortress, I want to have a large part at the top, maybe a communications tower. And then in the center of the MOC, I want to have a massive river running through it, and I want to have a downed ATTE in that water. Now, this plan may change in the future, but that's kind of what I have so far. And my last thing, probably the most impressive part, is I want to build a massive arch that the mountains are connected to. This will show like a natural terrain, and I think it'll look really great. So let me show you what I have so far. To start, I've designed the landing platform, and I've started to work on the gate around it. I've also started to work on the bunker that is going to connect to the mountain. Over here you can see that I have started working on some of the terrain. I designed this really cool tree that I got from a tutorial, and I've also gotten a lot of the cool white terrain and tried to add some different details to make it stand out. Now it's time to go more in depth with this model. First, let's start with this awesome tree design. To start, I've made this really cool base for the tree and this trunk to go with it. Now, for the very bottom, I've used a lot of intricate building techniques with a lot of these stick pieces and rope pieces along with some rubber bands to keep it all together. From there, I also have some brown and black pieces that are helping to hold everything together. And I've used a lot of these pull parts to make sure it can all go up. For this next part, I've added a lot of different leaf layers. These all just simply slip onto the tree trunk, and that allows for the cool looking design I've used. It also uses a technique called leaf weaving to get the cool outward angle for the leaves. It's a really nice technique, and it doesn't utilize many pieces besides just those regular leaf pieces. What you do is you make multiple different layers of them, all going with less leaf pieces as you go up. And what you're able to do is you're able to create a really cool looking spruce tree, which I'm definitely going to make more of for my MOC. I will link the tutorial I found down below. I think it's really helpful, and I really am happy I was able to find this. Next, for this bunker, I wanted to use a more complicated technique that I found while at Brick Fair, Virginia last year. I think the bunker looks really good on its own, but I was able to make it so all of these 1x2 grill pieces were able to line up perfectly. And I was also able to add a lot of side detail and make everything just work really well together. I think it looks absolutely amazing. Now it's time to talk about the terrain. For the smaller base plate, I've used a lot of smaller details to try and make it as accurate as I can. I've used a lot of slope pieces and wedge pieces to make it nice and have a gradual slope upwards towards the base. I've also used a lot of smaller pieces to add some rock work, and I've used different colors to show the different layers of grass, dirt, and snow, with the white representing the snow, the dark green representing the grass, and the dark tan representing the earth below it. On the side, you can see I've done a really complicated technique where you use two different types of cheese slopes to make a better looking transition between the dirt and the stone below. I've also added this border to make it look nicer and just more tiled off. And here's the large base plate that I'm almost finished with. This is the landing platform, and we'll probably have either a droid gunship or a droid control ship that will be able to land on the platform. I've designed and added a lot of smaller details to try and make it as cool looking as possible. From all the crates and little things I've designed to go on the platform to all the things around it. You can see I've used a lot of the different snow pieces to continue on towards the base. Also, you can see the start of the bunker that I've designed, and I'll continue to work on it as the weeks go on. Next, I've also started working on the laser wall, and though the lasers don't fully line up, I think it looks really good. If you have any suggestions or ideas on how I could potentially straighten those out and make it easier for me, then please leave them down in the comment section below. I enjoy reading the comments, and it's actually really engaging too. And finally, here's a cool cinematic I've made using some of the clone minifigures I have, along with some of the droid builds and figures I have. Hope you enjoy!